Top five, top five, top five.
So topical back with another video. I'm Strange, Wang, and Nate. Today we're doing top 5 most overrated movies. I feel like usually it's just known. We're going to preface this one. This is our opinions. And if you don't like our opinions, put yours down in the comment section. Let's have a civil conversation about it. But if you don't, go ahead and fuck yourself now.
That's a bit much.
Because these are our thoughts and opinions, our viewpoints, and everybody's different. That's what makes everyone special. That's what Mr. Rogers said. But we're doing this for no reason. There's no movies coming out this week that we feel like deserve a top 5 list from Southern Topical because we're that important. But he'll tell you about our social media and where you can find our
social media.
I already saw that, didn't I?
What? I don't know. Scroll down to the description box below, pop it open, you'll find links to our social media accounts. So click on those, give us a follow. We also have links to our coffee account and our Patreon account. If you'd like to help support our channel financially, those are options. On the Patreon, we got some good bonus stuff. It's real cheap. Find a tier that's right for you. And we got the new thanks button right there under the screen on the same line as the like button and all that stuff. You can use that as well. But if you're absolutely just adamant that you're not going to give us a single dollar, then subscribe because it's free and you still get to help us out. If you don't know how our top 5 works, he's going to give his 5 and 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, and we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means that we both have the same movie on our list, which seems unlikely this time. We just won't talk about it until we get to it on the higher person's list.
Yeah, I doubt we have any. You had one I saw, and I was like, all right, I agree with that. My number 5, though, is going to be Top Gun. The first one, not the second one. Haven't seen the second one yet. The first one, to me, it just comes off in America as this, like, real hillbilly, like, America, patriotism, and I don't understand any of that. It goes right over my head. I'm not saying this is a bad movie. I'm not saying any of the movies on my list are bad movies. I just don't get them, and that's why I find them overrated.
Makes sense.
And the whole patriotism thing in this movie and how it's like America's film and shit like that. That's what I think. But they make nice hats, so I couldn't put it too low.
Who says that?
A lot of people say that.
Who said who?
They've referenced that in Watch Mojo videos. Chris and his buddies. People I can't say names on YouTube. Privacy reasons.
Do they specifically say, don't say my name on YouTube?
Well, see, I'm in this Facebook group for shirts that are buttons. And a lot of them, when they make Top Gun shirts, they're like, America this, America that, America this.
That's stupid. I know plenty of people who love that movie. They don't think that way at all.
Well, that's you. My number 4 is going to be Edward Scissorhands. This guy's a fucking nematode. And you know who's a bigger nematode in this movie? The love interest. Because you're going to be an old, wrinkled up, dry coochie lady telling your grandkid about a what if when that motherfucker is up on that goddamn mountain and you could go up there at any time and be like, fuck what people think about me and be happy. Instead you go live your life fucking, oh, I wonder what happened. I wonder what old Scissors is doing. Like, let's just go up the fucking mountain. Like, that's the dumbest fucking movie I've ever seen in my motherfucking life. And they make Funko Pops about it. They make anniversary editions about it. They make Hot Topic clothing about it. I can't get a fucking Bronx Tale fucking Funko Pop or anything. But this thing has something for everything. They got socks, I bet. I bet they even got scissors with this fucking guy. They got everything for this fucking Mama Luke. But I can't get anything for a Bronx Tale, and I think it's stupid because the whole movie's just stupid. It's good until the ending. If you don't have that part of her narrating, oh, it never went up to the moon, he's right there, and you see the fucking smoke coming out the chimney and shit. That's so fucking... Cut that part. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Him cutting up trees and shit, and the scenery is fucking incredible. But you're... Fuck you, lady. He's unhappy, and you're unhappy because you won't go up there. He doesn't really got a choice. He can't open doorknobs properly.
Valid criticism.
He can't even get in a waterbed. He's got a tough life, and you can't walk your ass up the fucking mountain.
Fair. So my number 5 is Moonlight. The movie's really good. The first third of it is a 10 out of 10. The next 2/3 of it is like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, and it shouldn't have won Best Picture. And therefore, it's overrated. My number 4 but you never watched it because it's Rocky. I've seen enough of it. Honestly, I feel like I've seen the whole movie. The amount of clips that I have seen from Rocky. I'm not even saying it's a bad movie. Okay? But like, it's interesting to me that you don't like Top Gun for the reason that you don't like Top Gun, because people do the same shit to Rocky.
They do that for Rocky 4, but not.
That's
Rocky.
bullshit. I understand that Rocky 4 makes more sense, but like when you talk about classic American cinema and movies that define America, Rocky is gonna be on most people's lists.
That doesn't even make any sense because
your shit about Top Gun doesn't make any sense. You are basing that off of what a handful of other people have said. First of all,
Rocky is an Italian American who comes to this country. His family comes to this country.
He didn't come to this country. He was born here.
He's an Italian, and they look
no,
down
he's
on
not.
him
He's
around.
an American.
You ain't seen the goddamn movie.
Was he born in America?
He's an Italian American.
He's an American.
He's Italian.
It doesn't
He's
matter.
the Italian stallion.
It doesn't matter.
This is what's up.
Everyone from America is from somewhere else.
But this is the 70s. They look down on him because he's Italian. He's a muscle. They look down on him. It's about being better than what you know. It's just watch the movie.
And there are 1,000 movies that are about that, and like several of those do it better.
Nah.
You never see it. You don't know.
I don't need to see it. I know what the movie's about.
God.
I've seen so many clips from this fucking movie, and like
because it's that good.
It's not that good. The boxing scenes suck. Like, I understand in 1977 they were probably considered incredible. Raging Bull's boxing scenes are better than Rocky's scenes. Like, like it's not that good. It's just not, and it has not aged well.
What's your number 4?
That was my number 4.
What's your number 5?
Moonlight.
I'm so offended I forgot everything that happened. Number 3, I can say that practically... Actually, this should have been my number 3 and not my number... It should have been my number 4, but it's Night Before Christmas. Again.
It's on a Tim Burton day, huh?
I just see this fucking movie everywhere. I went to this chick's house one time and that little motherfucker was everywhere, dog. It was Jack and Sally everywhere, all over the room. There was nothing in the room that wasn't Jack and Sally. You know how it's weird trying to fucking hit the pile driver on a chick and there's just little skeleton people looking at you the whole time?
I do.
Might be Eskimo Brothers.
Ew.
It was just weird. And I see this little motherfucker everywhere. I don't think the movie's that great, but emo people adopted it and they said it's our movie and they will shove it in your face. Hot Topic will shove merchandise out like crazy.
That's true.
And to me, I don't think it's worth all that.
I love that 2 of your movies so far have just been based on Hot Topic merchandise. No, I don't disagree, but it's funny.
Well, it seems like I hate the passion for Edward Scissorhands a little bit more, so that probably should have been higher. Honestly, it probably should have been my number 2.
You did really hate it.
I fucked my whole list up.
Yeah, I like Nightmare Before Christmas, but not for the symbolism that the emo kid community has adopted it for.
My number 2 is Avengers, the original. I don't think it's that great. I think Loki is a Mama Luke in that movie. He gets beat up 2-3 times before the ending of the movie. If you beat him up the first time, just fucking capture him in the movie, or I don't know. He uses the little thing as a scapegoat, and I think that's cheap. And it spawned all these other movies, which I do think that's impressive. But some of them, you just make movies to make other movies, and I think that sucks. And in the long run, I think it's done a few bad things for cinema, because people won't go see movies now unless it's full of CGI with a mediocre story. There's no way that fucking that shitty Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie should have made more money than a lot of other much better movies in the cinema, and I think that's just criminal.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I will say,
they didn't mean to train people to become stupid monkeys, but people became stupid monkeys. And if you like those movies, I'm not saying you are a stupid monkey, but some people are just buffoons.
Yeah, I think that's just as much streaming's fault. It was this double, two-headed dragon. I will say, though, I went to see Top Gun 2 yesterday, which you knew that already, but they didn't, which has very little CGI in it, with, in my opinion, an excellent story in, a packed-out theater. and I checked the other times, and they were all booked. So
I'm very glad. For that.
Dude, it was like I felt
like it was 2018 again.
Yeah, like it felt good to like see that many people at a theater.
But I'm sure in that movie, who are they fighting? The Russians, the Ukraine?
They don't even tell you what country the bad guys are from.
They're fighting the bad guys. They don't blow up all their fucking airplanes 3 times before the movie ends.
No.
They have a climax that builds up to it. This movie doesn't build up to the climax. It has a few cool moments, and everyone lost their mind. People put this movie up there with The Dark Knight and stuff like that, and I'm like, buffoonery.
Infinity War and Endgame, maybe, but like if you're gonna make a case for an MCU movie, anyways,
overrated.
Yeah, but I did just want to share that one little bit of cinema triumph with you.
That warmed my
because
heart.
it made me really happy too. So my number 3, Back to the Future. Again, I understand why it's fun, but Marty McFly is the flattest character. Like out of movies that make like top 100 movies ever, Marty McFly is the flattest character on that list. And I understand that in the 80s, like people wanted that. Like movies were more just for entertainment. I understand why everyone says it's fun, but for me, I need a little more meat to my characters and things like that. And Marty just doesn't do it for me. He is like one of the least interesting protagonists in all of cinema to me, and I don't understand why everyone loves that movie unless they are like from the 80s and they just have this super nostalgic attachment to it, which I'm not mad about because I have the same with like some 90s movies. And then my number 2 is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's one I agree on.
Again, I think it's kind of the same thing. I think that if you grew up with it, like when it was like, yeah, because it was like late 70s, right? I think.
Maybe mid.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I understand. Like if you grew up with it and you grew up quoting it, like because it's got a handful of bits, and those are the bits that I'd always heard, and those were like kind of funny. I'd seen like so many YouTube clips of your mother smells of elderberries and like so on and so forth. The movie as a whole, not a good movie. Like it's pretty flat. It did not translate well. I know it didn't help that I didn't watch it until like sometime in the last 10 years for the first time, but it's not funny. It's really not that funny. And it makes like top 10 funniest movies of all time. Pretty consistently lists. I don't agree with that.
See, like our lists are different and we go into them with different outlooks. To me, I feel like comedy's something that's too much of a
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
perspective type thing. So I try to leave comedies off. But
Yeah.
that would be my number 1 if we did top 5 overrated comedies for
Well,
sure.
the reason I picked it and what is ultimately number 1 is just because they get that level of hype. Like, they consistently get put on definitive, these are the funniest movies lists.
See, that would be my only like old movie. Step Brothers, overrated.
Yeah.
A lot of Will Ferrell, like 2000
Anchorman.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is...
It has its parts, but
That's a
like,
different video.
if you're looking at the movie as a whole, yeah.
My number 1 is the entire Star Wars franchise. I personally think it is a bunch of gobbledygook. Or whatever that clip says. I don't have that clip in there.
Fucking commie gobbledygook.
So many hands are in the pot. Fans, they also suck because they threaten people on Twitter and make actors go off Twitter, and then they don't like one another because they like certain movies. It's a whole hodgepodge of... It's a mess. Somebody called him a rat bastard because he liked a certain movie. Big fucking whoop. He likes a movie. Get over it. You didn't like the movie. Stuff like that. And then these movies suck, and then now they don't suck, and just like, I'm just tired of hearing about it. I don't get the hype of it. They're fine movies, most of them, but it just doesn't do it for me personally. And obviously, it's the biggest franchise ever, and I just don't get it. And on top of that, I don't like Jedis.
So my number 1 is Airplane. Again, this movie, it is generally almost always number 1 on people's lists of funniest comedies.
Top 3 for me.
This shit's not funny.
It's debatable.
Like, I watched this movie. I watched it the first time like 2-3 years ago, and I was like, I wanted to laugh. I was in a mood. I was in the mood for a comedy. So it wasn't even one of those situations. It definitely wasn't a situation where I was like, I shouldn't have watched this. I wasn't in the mood for it. Like, I was in the mood for a good comedy. I got like halfway through it. I hadn't laughed once, and then I was like, all right, I don't get it. I'll come back to it. I came back to it. Watched the whole thing. Shit's not funny. Juvenile as fuck, which makes sense why you think it's funny. And like, I don't get it.
You don't speak jive.
That's not funny.
So,
Like,
question.
That bit's not funny.
Question. That bit's hilarious.
Blow Up Doll's not funny.
Oh.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar shit's not funny. Everybody getting food poisoning's not funny.
Well, I didn't laugh when I blow up fell out of your closet. Anyways,
the beginning of it is not. I hate the beginning. The bar scene is stupid.
Question for you. So, like, a lot of movies you love is because of your father.
Well, no, I think there's like.
I'm talking about movies you watch together. Like, if you watch them together, like Robin Hood, Men in Tights,
That could maybe.
Star Wars.
That could
Indiana
possibly be
Jones.
like 10 to 15 movies that I like because I have like an paternal attachment to them.
There goes my question then.
Oh, yeah. No, I have plenty of other movies that I watched out on my own that are in my like top 10 favorite movies of all time that I don't have any sort of familial or like nostalgic connection to.
No, like, I get that. I'm not saying this should be one of your favorite movies, but like, is this like your dad's like type of humor?
Yeah, he probably thinks this shit's hilarious.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, no.
Because like he showed you Men in Tights and like obviously a ton of movies growing up, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean like the reason that I fucking love Dumb and Dumber is like because my dad let me watch Dumb and Dumber, which looking back, you should probably not let a 7-year-old watch Dumb and Dumber. I would let my 7-year-old watch it. I don't really.
It's a different time now though.
But
I don't know. Back in the night, from 1995 to 2005, there were no rules. People just did whatever they wanted to.
yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't like Dumb and Dumber was still PG-13. It wasn't made for kids.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you would have heard that shit out in the streets or something. Or some other parent would have let the kid watch it and you heard it at school or something like that.
Yeah, I think that still happens.
Yeah.
All the time.
So, why would you let your 7-year-old watch it, but you don't think you should have watched it at 7 years old?
I think more so what I'm saying is I'm surprised that my parents let me watch, that my dad.
See,
let me
that's
watch it
easier
when
because I met your mom and that's very surprising.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let him have R-rated video games at 18 years old.
No, I was 20.
R-rated movies.
I was 22
What's a video game thing?
when she.
M for mature.
Right. When she tried to make that rule.
She said, no titties in the house.
But Stan backed me up.
And Stan said, titties in the house. But if you have titties in your house, tell us down in the comment section what are your top 5 overrated movies. Put those in the comment section as well. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video. And subscribe.
Not quite how that conversation went, but that was the gist of it.
It's not a game, it's a rich game.